Hi student friends, I welcome all of you to this most awaited session, that is amendments in income tax as per Finance Act 21. Yes, many students had been asking, sir, when this session will be out. So yes, today is the time this session will be out, and yes, we are discussing amendments. These are amendments according to Finance Act 21, so will be applicable in upcoming May as well as June exams. I am saying May as well as June because for CS students as well as CS students, CMA students, for all the students it will be applicable, intermediate as well as final level, and obviously CS executive level. So these amendments are for all of you. Do watch them till the end. Statutory warning, the video is going to be bit lengthy. Obviously ना कुछ आपको सीखना है, you have to learn something new, something substantial, so it has to be detailed, isn't it? So let's go ahead. So as discussed, it is for CA, CS, CMA students appearing for exams in May and June 22. So आपको पता है that Finance Act 21 will bring changes for the upcoming financial year, that is 21-22, that is assessment year 22-23. So yes, amendments do have important part in your syllabus and overall in your exams. So let us see what are those amendments. Okay, so I would like to tell you there is no change in the rates of income tax. So apart from that, so obviously no change in the rates of income tax act. Apart from that, what are the important amendments? Let's quickly go through them, and after going through them I have done a mixed bag questions for important amendments, so don't forget to watch the video till the end. Okay, first one, section 80 EEA. Okay, so 80 series means it is of deductions of chapter 6A, correct? So 80 EEA was that deduction for interest on housing loan, so that is given over and above 24B. 24B आप house property में लेते हो, interest on borrowed capital. Now over and above that you get this deduction of 80 EEA. For this deduction there is one condition. That condition is that the sanction date of the loan should be between 1st April 19 to 31st March 21. So that was 21, that is now extended to 31st March 22. In short, as SAC, if you take loan, housing loan, okay, between 1st April 2019 to 31st March 22, then you are eligible for this deduction. Getting the point? Then you are eligible for this deduction of section 80 EEA. Obviously other conditions are to be satisfied. You know what are the other conditions, okay? That the stamp duty value of the property restriction is there, isn't it? So that condition should be satisfied. Let's go ahead. Section 194P, this is a critical section, okay? As far as certain category of senior citizens are concerned, okay, they are exempted from filing of income tax return. Very critical change, okay? But if you observe, it is given in section 194P. You know this series deals with TDS. Yes, tax deducted at source. So understand what is this section about. If there is a resident senior citizen, such senior citizen whose age is 75 or more, okay, so not a normal senior citizen of 60 or more, we are talking about such resident individual whose age is 75 or more, okay, and you know, they are having pension income and some interest income, okay, and it is being deposited in a bank, then that bank will do TDS equal to tax payable. Getting the point? That bank will do TDS equal to tax payable, and once that is done, then there is no need of filing income tax return for such senior citizen. Okay, So yes, this 194p is newly inserted, so these provisions will apply from AY 22-23. Okay, so yes, one more thing I want to tell you, this detailed PPT, this entire PPT I am going to share with you in the description box of this video. So do download it and take most advantage of it. Okay, and yes, 194p का बाद में एक illustration आएगा, there will be one illustration on this, so do watch out that as well to understand this section in detail. Then 80 IBA, in this there is a extension of deduction in respect of profits and gains from housing projects, including rental housing projects. So for that, the date which was earlier up to 31st March 21, it is extended to 31st March 22 for this deduction. This will be mainly important for CS executive as well as CA final. I don't find it in the syllabus of CA intermediate. Okay, CA intermediate has very limited deductions, isn't it? Then 80 IAC, again extension of date of incorporation by 1 more year for eligible startup exemption and for investment in eligible startup. So यहाँ पे भी the date has been extended to 1st April 2022. In most of these benefit cases, you will see right from 80 EEA till here, government has extended the date of claiming these benefits by 1 year. Everywhere the dates have been extended. Same thing in 54 GB, which is okay, the extension in time limit is there in 54 GB. So that 54 GB is with respect to transfer of residential property. So again, by 1 year the date has been extended. Then there is section 50C. Okay, what that 50C talks about, that stamp duty value. Okay, so there is some acceptable amount of margin, okay, that is 10%. In short, what I am trying to tell you is, if I talk about gifts, okay, if I have been given a gift means here I am talking about provision of gift but a property received for inadequate consideration. Okay, we are talking about immovable property received for inadequate consideration. So margin there we have discussed is 110%. Matlab 10% is the margin. Now that 10% gets replaced by 20% in very limited cases. Okay, तो वो क्या cases है? See, suppose I am purchasing a property, house property between 12th November 2020 to 30th June 21, and the consideration of that property is not exceeding 2 crores. Then that instead of 10%, that margin will be 20%. इसका मीनिंग क्या है? Acceptable difference will be 20% instead of 10%. Acceptable difference between what? Between the actual consideration and the stamp duty value. That acceptable difference instead of 10% is now 20%. Okay. Then 44AB, there is a change in 44AB, that is tax audit. What is the change? Applicability. In applicability there is a change. Listen to me carefully. Earlier the limit was 5 crores. Now the limit is 10 crores. When it was 5 crores. Okay, see, understand. If I am a businessman whose turnover is not exceeding 10 crores, then I will be exempted from getting tax audit done. In what situations? 2 conditions should be satisfied. One, whatever amounts I am receiving, they should be received in mode other than cash. to the extent of 95%. Getting the point? And whatever payments I am doing, I should be doing it in mode other than cash, again to the extent of 95%. In short, what is the acceptable limit in cash? It is 5%. Okay, remember that. Suppose both is within 5%, my payments against my expenditures and my receipts against my turnover, then what will happen? Then for tax audit, my threshold limit will be 10 CR. Okay, means as an individual or as a firm or as a company, I don't have to worry about getting my tax audit done if my amount is within these limits, correct? So this is the amendment. Amendment is that earlier this threshold limit was 5 CR, now it is 10 CR. Okay, then dividend income, you know, now from last to last year it has become taxable under the head income from other sources in the hands of recipient. Earlier this dividend used to be taxed in the hands of companies. Companies used to pay DDT, dividend distribution tax. Now the recipient shareholder is supposed to pay income tax on dividend. You all are aware of that. We are here discussing about amendment in the advance tax installment for dividend income. Okay, what you have to do, you may neglect this dividend income while paying advance tax installment. So dividend, except dividend of section 222E, that is a deemed dividend of 222E, it will be excluded from income for computing advance tax. Effectively, advance tax will be applicable on dividend income only after its declaration. So you need not worry about advance tax on dividend till the time it is declared. Then 44ADA. What is 44ADA? It is basically presumptive taxation for those engaged in profession. Earlier this 44ADA was applicable to any assessee. Getting the point? So it could have been company, it could have been firm, it could have been individual, it could have been HUF, any assessee. Getting the point? Now they have restricted it to whom? To resident individual, HUF or partnership firm other than LLP. In short, applicability of section 44AD जो बिजनेस के लिए presumptive taxation है and 44ADA which is presumptive taxation for profession, okay, that both applicability has come on the same level. It is applicable to whom? Both these sections, individual, HUF and firm other than LLP. Then one important amendment, that is 194Q. Earlier you must have seen that there was no TDS on goods, correct? But now with effect from AY 22-23 there will be TDS on goods. Means what? I availed service of say a professional. There was a TDS. There is a TDS of 194J. I am paying rent. There is a TDS of 194I. Correct? There was no TDS on goods. When I was purchasing goods, correct, I am making payment, there was no TDS. But with effect from AY 22-23, you will have TDS on purchase of goods. But remember, this TDS will be at a nominal rate of 0.1%, correct, on the purchase transaction which exceeds 50 lakhs. मतलब threshold limit क्या है? Threshold limit is 50 lakhs. Speciality here is that you don't have to do TDS on purchases till 50 lakhs. TDS will apply over and above 50 lakhs. मतलब in all other sections of TDS, you have seen that TDS provisions will apply from first payment if the amount of threshold limit is exceeded. But in 194Q, it is not like that. If I am saying threshold limit is 50 lakh, what it means is TDS provisions will apply on payments exceeding 50 lakhs. In the later part of this session, we have covered example on this. So please stay tuned, okay, till the end. One in-depth example has been covered on this. Okay, and obviously, who will be liable to deduct this tax at source? Only if that person's turnover is exceeding 10 CR in the last financial year, then only liable to deduct tax at source. Okay, then high premium unit linked policies will now be not exempted of under 1010D. Then this is just a clarificatory amendment that on goodwill there will be no depreciation allowed. Actually, from beginning this was the effect that on goodwill there was no depreciation. Now that has been clarified here. Yes, slump sale, in the definition of slump sale, the scope has been widened. Okay, now slump sale is defined in such a way that it will include all type of transfers. Then due dates have been extended for filing of return in very limited cases. Okay, means some aligned cases are there in due date of filing income tax returns. Okay, see, due date of filing original income tax return has been extended to 31st October of AY. You already know that it is 31st October in case of those assessees whose books of accounts are required to be audited. So obviously they have 31st October. Now we are talking about extending for whom? Already you know it is 31st October for working partners in a firm, okay, of which the books of accounts are required to be audited. Now we are talking about spouse of partner of a firm whose accounts are required to be audited. Means, for example, I am partner in such a firm of which the books of accounts are required to be audited. Then of course you know that for firm the due date will be 31st October of the assessment year. Accordingly for me the due date will be 31st October, isn't it? Because I am working partner in that firm. Now also for my spouse the due date will be 31st October. Getting it? So this way the due date of filing income tax return for not only the firm but its working partner and spouse of that working partner, for all of them it has become 31st October. Clear? And then for a firm which is entering into international transaction or specified domestic transaction, SDT, which we have discussed in section 92. So for them, for the due date, for the partner, the due date will be 30th November. Now for the firm it was already 30th November. Now for that partners also it will be 30th of November. I am talking about which firm? That firm to whom provisions of section 92 apply. Okay, and that audit of 92E is done. For them I am talking about. So firm ke liye to obviously it is 30th November. Now for those partners also it becomes 30th November. Okay, then there is a reduction in time to file belated return and to revise original return. Okay, earlier it was till the end of the assessment year. Now see, it has been reduced by 3 months. So with one example I have tried to discuss with you. Say for PY 21-22 you have to file belated return. So what is the last date now? Now last date will be 3 months prior to end of the relevant AY. Now relevant AY for 21-22 is 22-23. So 22-23 will end on 31st March 23. Do minus 3 months. You will get 31st December 22. So obviously that is the last date of filing the belated return. Now compare that with completion of assessment. So that is always a constant point there, completion of assessment. So of this two, whichever is earlier. So जो पहले 31st March 23 होता है यहाँ पे, वो अभी नीचे आ गया 31st December 22. Correct? Okay. Time limit for filing revised income tax return remains same. Then there is a constitution of dispute resolution committee for small and medium taxpayers. Okay. Then there is constitution of a board for advance ruling. Then there is some urgency in this national faceless income tax appeal mechanism. Okay, so all appeals are becoming faceless these days. Then tax-free income on provident funds. You have seen that interest part in the provident fund was exempted. Now what has been done is, if annual contribution of employee is 2.5 lakhs, or you can say exceeding 2.5 lakhs, then they will have to pay tax on that interest element. Then cost inflation index, that is CII, for FY 21-22. This is in capital gains. This CII is now 317 for financial year 21-22. Where you use it. While calculating indexed cost of acquisition or index cost of improvement. Okay, index cost of acquisition is cost of acquisition into CII for the PY in which asset is transferred upon CII for the PY in which asset is acquired. Okay, so mostly when I am solving a question in capital gains for assessment year 22-23, obviously asset will be transferred in 21-22. So वो जो numerator वाला CII है, that you will have to take as 317. Mostly in the exam it will be given, but still you should know the latest CII. इसके पहले जो 2021 वाला है, that was 301. Okay, that 301 is now replaced in the sense for the 21-22 it is 370. For 2021 it was 301, and base year is 2001-2002, for which it is, yes, very good, 100. Now coming to the mixed bag questions. So what we have done is we have mixed up 5 questions, and now you have to identify that they are from which section and try to solve them. Each of this question will lead you to clarity towards particular section in amendment. Okay, and no prizes for guessing. On all the important amendments, these questions have been framed, and obviously its solution has been given in the depth, and also we'll discuss it now. So see this question, क्या होगा ना, allied provisions will also be revised. You will understand how. See this first question. Mr. Sashikant has purchased house of 48 lakhs. Its stamp duty value is 44,50,000, and this is purchased on 1st June 21. Did you get the point? Loan was sanctioned on 1st May 21 amounting 35 lakhs. It is his first owned property. During the FY 21-22, total interest paid on housing loan is 3,60,000. What is the implication of interest on borrowed capital? So as you know, this property is self-occupied. Can you see that this is the first owned property? So this is self-occupied property. Okay. Interest paid on this property, means loan on this property for the year, is 3,60,000. You know, ceiling limit for deduction under 24B, interest on borrowed capital, is 2 lakh rupees. So if I take only 2 lakh as deduction, then you know actually paid amount of interest is 3,60,000. If I take 2 lakh as deduction, then balance 160. Okay, in spite of paying that, I am not eligible for any deduction, isn't it? But friends, 80 EEA comes for your rescue. What is 80 EEA? Yes, interest on housing loan. Okay, over and above 24B. So 24B, you will get obviously 2 lakh rupees. Out of remaining 1,60,000, you will get deduction under 80 EEA, but of course to the extent of ceiling limit of 1,50,000. Getting the point? And now you are able to claim 80 EEA because Finance Act 21 has, yes, very good, it has extended the time limit, okay, from 31st March 21 being cutoff date to 31st March 22. So even though this house is purchased on 1st June 21, you are eligible for that deduction of 80 EEA. समझ में आया ये अमेंडमेंट? ऑफ कोर्स पहले पढ़ा था, अभी अप्लाई कर रहे हैं. सो डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ दिस अमेंडमेंट? ओके, प्लीज टेल मी इन द कमेंट बॉक्स, समझा कि नहीं? विच अमेंडमेंट यू फाउंड मोस्ट इजी एंड विच अमेंडमेंट फॉर यू इज डिफिकल्ट टू कोप अप? आपने सपोज आपकी डिफिकल्टी बता दी, तो आई विल बी एबल टू मेक अ फर्दर वीडियो ऑन दैट अमेंडमेंट एक्सप्लेनिंग यू विथ मोर एग्जाम्पल्स. तो प्लीज ओके, आगे बढ़ते. तो ये सॉल्यूशन पढ़ लेना, मैंने अभी आपको एक्सप्लेन किया है. सेकंड क्वेश्चन, ये जो सेकंड क्वेश्चन है आपको 194P के डेप्थ में लेके जाएगा, राइट? सो सी, मिस्टर शर्मा, resident Indian whose age is 77 years. Something clicks to you? 75 or more than 75? Yes. Gets pension of 52,000 per month from UP state government. Same is credited to his savings account in State Bank of India Lucknow branch. Out of deposit of 20 lakhs with the said bank, 2 lakh represents 5-year term deposit made by him on 1st April 21. Okay, समझ में आया? Interest on saving bank credited to SBI for the year is 9,500. तो एक तो समझ में आ गया, बहुत चीजें अप्लाई करनी पड़ेगी यहाँ पे. From the above facts, compute total income and tax liability of Mr. Sharma for the AY 22-23. Getting it? Assuming he has not opted for provisions of 115 BAC. ओके, तो टैक्स लायबिलिटी निकालेंगे. उसके बाद पूछा है what would be the amount of TDS by SBI assuming that same is a specified bank. Is Mr. Sharma required to file his return for AY 22-23 if tax deductible at source has been fully deducted? So obviously answer no है. That's exactly the whole amendment about 194P. Correct? And would your answer to question 2 be different if the FD of 20 lakhs was with another bank, that is Canara Bank, instead of SBI? Other facts remaining the same. देखते. What you do now is, you all know how to calculate total income. Okay, हम पहले जाते towards gross total income. I hope all of you are sitting with calcies. Okay, see 52,000 into 12, ये हो जाएगा आपका pension. Pension means it's taxable under the head income from salary. So obviously you will get standard deduction of 50,000. So your net taxable salary will be 5,74,000. Interest on FD, 20 लाख की एफडी इंटू 8%, 1,60,000. इंटरेस्ट ऑन सेविंग्स बैंक गिवन 9,500. Total 169,500. Now you will get gross total income. Check whether it is 7,43,500. Very good. Now go for deductions of chapter 6A. What you have to understand is he is a senior citizen, so he will be eligible to claim that 80 TTB deduction. TTB. Why is it for? It is for interest on deposits. So that is to the extent of, yes, that is to the extent of 50,000. So yes, take that. Apart from that, so this 50,000 we have taken. Apart from that, of course, 80C you will be eligible for because you have done 5 years term deposit. But 80C has got a ceiling limit of 1.5 lakhs. So 1.5 lakhs plus 50,000, 2 lakhs will be total deduction, and 5,43,500 will be your total income. Okay, I hope you have got it. कुछ doubt है तो मुझे पूछ लो comment box में. I'll be more than happy to reply. Secondly, आपको खुद से calculate करके कुछ time इस पे बिताना है. You can pause the slide, pause the video, do the calculations, ensure for yourself, then go ahead. Then tax liability computation. He is a resident senior citizen, don't forget, and is not super senior. He will become super senior at 80 or more than 80. Right now a senior citizen. So on first 3 lakhs no tax, 3 lakh to 5 lakh tax at 5%. Check. 10,000. Yes, because in 3 lakh to 5 lakh you have got 2 lakh. On that 2 lakh at 5% will be 10,000. Then 5 lakh to 10 lakh you have 43,500. On that calculate at 20%. You will get 8,700. Total now 18,700. Calculate 4%. Health and education says 19,448. When you round off, 19,450 will be the answer. I am quite sure you are smart enough to calculate this. Correct? You have reached till the stage of, understanding amendments, means obviously you know this basics. Now, this is the answer to your first sub question, that what is the total income and tax liability. Going to second sub question, SBI in this case, will they do TDS? So yes, they will be required to do TDS under 194P. Obviously there will be TDS on the pension. So after considering that TDS, the balance, the deficiency, they will deduct, correct, and only balance they will pay to the assessee. So assessee will now not have to file any income tax return. Okay, obviously assessee does not have any further tax payable, and he will also be exempted from filing ITR. Okay, and the third sub question, that what will happen if this 20 lakhs okay of FD is not with SBI but with Canara Bank. See, so point here is this FD is with bank other than the bank, okay, where his pension is credited. Now the whole problem. Now what will happen? Now the provision of 194P will not apply. Correct? Got the point? The bank in which his pension is there, in the same bank the interest should be there. Getting the point? FD interest should be there in the same bank. Now if these both are in different banks, there is no question of 194P. Okay, and there will be requirement of filing the return the income tax return by resident senior citizen. That individual will have to file his return. Okay, after considering the TDS done by respective banks, okay, or respective payers, you can say. Employer करेगा अपना TDS under 192 and banks will do TDS on the interest, okay, considering the provisions of respective provisions of TDS on interest. Banks will do the TDS accordingly. Now that assessee, individual assessee will have to calculate the balance tax payable, if any, pay that, and also file the return. Okay, so accordingly you can check this solution. Then third question in this mixed bag. Okay, you check and tell me it is on what. Think it is on what. K and company has turnover during FY 21-22 from sale of goods amounting 8 crores. Out of this, it receives 7.8 crores in bank, that is by way of account paid check and bank draft. Okay, so question is, check it is on tax audit applicability, whether tax audit will be applicable or not in this case. So point is, how much is your receipts in cash? Check. If 7.8 crore is by way of bank, we are saying मतलब वो ECS हो सकता है, it can be a check, account paid check, or a bank draft. Okay, but anyways, so 7.8 CR is in bank, so 20 lakhs is in cash. Take on your calci 20 lakh divided by 800 lakhs, 8 crore. 20 lakh divided by 8 crore into 100. Check. Is it less than 5%? If okay, congratulations, first step is satisfied. Second step, your payment in cash should be less than 5%. Check karte. Okay. Further, the said entity has total expense of 6.5 CR during the said FY. Out of this, 6.2 CR is made through bank, that is by way of account paid check, bank draft or ECS. तो अब देख लो 30 lakh rupees is in cash. So take on your calci 30 lakhs upon 6.5 crores into 100. क्या ये भी 5% से नीचे है? Suppose both are below 5%, then congratulations, tax audit threshold limit will be 10 crore rupees. Getting the point? So check. तो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है? When I talk about percentage of turnover received in cash, it is 2.5. वैसे आपने कैलसी पे निकाला है. Okay, tell me in the comment box who were able to calculate by themselves. Okay, and when I talk about the expense paid in cash, it is 4.62%. So both is below 5%. So yes, applicable threshold limit will be not the normal threshold limit of 1 CR, but extended threshold limit of 10 CR. And you have seen that my turnover is only 8 crore. Only means I am talking about applicability of tax audit. So it is not exceeding 10 crores. So I am within the limit. That's why I am saying only. Okay, I am within the limit. So there is no applicability of tax audit in this case. समझ में आया? Very important amendment. Amendment क्या है? जो अभी अपने 10 CR देखा ना, वो पहले 5 CR था. Then next, what would be your answer in question 3? मतलब जो अभी question हमने किया, if the amount received in cash is 50 lakhs instead of 20 lakhs. अभी अभी आपने देखा कि 7.8 CR was received in bank. Now instead of 7.8 CR, if it was 7.5 CR, means if 50 lakhs was in cash, then now take on your calci 50 lakhs divided by 8 crore. कितना है? चेक. इज इट 6.25%? आप एक बार चेक कर लो तो. मुझे मेरे खुद के कैलकुलेशन पे डाउट आ रहा है. चेक चेक. 50 डिवाइडेड बाय, नहीं सही है सही है सही है, 6.25%. ओके. कभी कभी अच्छा होता है क्रॉस चेक करना. फिर से मैंने किया है बट ओके, क्रॉस चेक किया. 6.25%. सो इट इज एक्सीडिंग 5%. ओके. जो एक्सपेंस है ना कैश में, इट इज बिलो 5%, यू नो दैट. बट अगर आपको वो 10 CR का थ्रेशोल्ड चाहिए, एप्लीकेबल आपके लिए 10 CR का थ्रेशोल्ड चाहिए, तो बीच में एंड है. ओके. सो इन शॉर्ट, दोनों में से एक भी 5% से आगे गया कैश में, यू आर नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर एक्सटेंडेड थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट ऑफ 10 CR. सो यू आर नॉट एलिजिबल हियर. गेटिंग इट? एंड आपका टर्नओवर 8 CR है. दैट मीन्स इट इज एक्सीडिंग 1 CR. मतलब आपको ऑडिट कंपल्सरीली एप्लीकेबल होना चाहिए. गॉट द पॉइंट? सो क्या लिखा है मैंने यहाँ पे, बोल्ड क्या किया है, दैट दीज कंडीशंस शुड बी सेटिस्फाइड साइमल्टेनियसली फॉर हायर थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट ऑफ 10 CR. दोनों एक साथ सेटिस्फाई होने चाहिए कंडीशंस. इवन इफ वन ऑफ द कंडीशन इज नॉट सेटिस्फाइड, मतलब यदि एक्सपेंस कैश में एक्सपेंस 5% से ज्यादा है, या फिर टर्नओवर मतलब जो टर्नओवर है उसके 5% से ज्यादा कैश में रिसीट्स है, दोनों में से एक भी है, देन यू आर नॉट एप्लीकेबल, नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर हायर थ्रेशोल्ड ऑफ 10 CR. टैक्स ऑडिट एप्लीकेबल as soon as turnover exceeds 1 CR. ओके. देन ये आ गया अपना लास्ट क्वेश्चन, विच इज ऑन TDS ऑफ 194Q. क्या है वो 194Q? यू नो इट इज फॉर गुड्स. तो इस क्वेश्चन मीन्स थ्रू दिस क्वेश्चन you are going to understand that 194Q provision, okay, in detail. See, Mr. Gupta, resident Indian, is in retail business and his turnover for FY 2021 was 12 CR. मतलब last year his turnover was 12 CR. तो यहाँ पे eligibility or applicability is when, you know, last year turnover exceeds 10 CR for the payer. देखते. He regularly purchases goods from another resident, Mr. Agarwal, a wholesaler, and the aggregate payments during the FY 21-22 was 95 lakhs. 95 lakhs means it is exceeding 50 lakhs. So when as a buyer in last year my turnover was exceeding 10 CR, then these provisions are applicable. So was it exceeding 10 CR? Tick mark. Yes, because it is 12 CR. Further think, ये सब buyer के perspective से है. Buyer means I am purchasing goods and I am paying, isn't it? Secondly, from a particular party, are my purchases exceeding 50 lakhs? Answer is yes. Okay. So will TDS provisions apply? Yes. Details of purchase are given in bracket. Check. 20 lakhs on 1st June, 25 lakhs on 12th August. अब देखो, these provisions apply only and only when turnover exceeds, turnover नहीं, purchases from that party exceeds 50 lakhs. So if you check 20 lakhs plus 25 lakhs till 12th August, TDS provisions have not become applicable. 22 lakhs on 23rd November 21. So now will TDS provisions apply? Yes. Okay, 22 lakhs, but not on full 22 lakhs. पहले कितना एग्जॉस्ट हुआ है? 20 lakhs plus 25 lakhs, 45 lakhs. अभी कितना बचा है? 5 lakhs is pending to complete 50 lakhs. So from 22 lakhs, subtract that 5 lakhs, बचेगा 17 lakhs. On 17 lakhs, you will calculate TDS at 0.1%. Check, कितना है 0.1%, गलती मत करना. ओके 17,000 होना चाहिए. 28 lakhs on 25th March 22. Now on this 28 lakhs, again at 0.1%. Check, होना चाहिए 28,000. ओके तो ये हो गया आपका TDS. Assume that said amounts were credited to Mr. Agrawal's account in the books of Gupta on the same date. Agrawal's turnover for FY 2021 was 15 crores. ये यहाँ पे मायने नहीं रखता for TDS. This doesn't matter for TDS. Okay. So first question we have already solved. Examine TDS implications. TCS भी पूछा है. TDS TCS साथ में करना पड़ेगा आपको. ओके बट यहाँ पे मैं आपको शॉर्टकट में बता देता हूँ. इफ TDS ऑन गुड्स इज एप्लीकेबल ऑन परचेस ऑफ गुड्स, देन TCS इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल. ओके तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ TDS इम्प्लीकेशन आएगा. सेकंड, वुड योर आंसर बी डिफरेंट if Mr. Gupta's turnover for FY 2021 means if purchaser's turnover for last year was 8 CR, okay, not 12 CR but 8 CR, all other facts remaining same, बहुत ही ज़्यादा effect होगा. No TDS implication because हमने क्या discuss किया, when the buyer's turnover in last year exceeds 10 CR, then only TDS provisions get applicable. तो यहाँ पे तो TDS अप्लाई नहीं होगा सेकंड केस में, तो TCS अप्लाई होगा. बट स्टिल आई विल रिकमेंड कि आप जो TCS की प्रोविजंस है ना, डू देम इन डेप्थ, तो ये सेकंड सॉल्यूशन समझने में और आसानी होगी. इट्स गिवन, TCS प्रोविजंस आर गिवन इन सेक्शन 206, तो आप वो देख लो. तो यहाँ पे TCS प्रोविजन अप्लाई होंगे. TCS होगा एट 0.1%. ओके TCS कलेक्ट करेगा. कौन कलेक्ट करेगा? सेलर ऑफ द गुड्स. गॉट द पॉइंट? हु इज सेलर ऑफ द गुड्स? Agrawal. He will collect TCS from you at 0.1% while selling the goods. Getting it? देख लो. एंड फाइनली ओके एक क्वेश्चन पूछा है आपको. क्या पूछा है? Would your answer to 1 and 2 change if PAN has not been furnished by buyer or seller as required? मतलब जो फर्स्ट वाली केस है जहां पे TDS है, वहां पे पेई ने नहीं दिया. करेक्ट? पेई मीन्स सेलर डिड नॉट गिव PAN. एंड जो सेकंड वाली केस है TCS, वहां पे बायर ने नहीं दिया PAN. तो क्या कुछ चेंज होगा प्रोविजंस में या सॉल्यूशन में? आंसर इज यस. तो TDS जो 0.1 था उसका रेट हो जाएगा 5% एंड TCS जो 0.1 था उसका रेट हो जाएगा 1%. चेक, वो चेंज होगा. सो रिमेंबर दीज थिंग्स वेरी सिस्टमैटिकली. सो इन शॉर्ट नहीं बोल सकता मैं, बट ओवर last 45 minutes we had been discussing all the major amendments by Finance Act 21. I hope you have understood them all. I would like to end this session by wishing you all the very best for your upcoming exams. I would again like to tell you, if you have doubt in any of the amendment, if you want me to go into depth of any other amendment, do let me know in the comment box. Okay, I am always there to help you out on any issues you face in income tax, GST, or in general about academic planning or anything else. I am always there. Thank you so much. All the best.